Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chan. Let's get into part one of the interview with Kenya Moore and Carlos King, Reality with the King. Let's go. I will say this, Kenya had a really tough go at it in the beginning. The fact that her mother disowned her, said that she never had a child, and that she was going to do everything in her power to destroy her, even going as far as to saying she is an alcoholic, dating an older man, and trying to get her crown taken. Like, that's horrible. And it's a special place for that woman at the end for her. But what I do want to talk about, because I'm with you when you're right. When Kenya was talking about how housewives now come in before they get a contract, Courtney, Monyetta, Drew, like, they need to go back to the drawing board like they did before. So let's get into Kenya talking about that.
Yeah. So, yes, back then, anyone who was auditioning or wanting to be a part of the cast went through this rigorous filming. They would film you alone. They would film you with your man. They would film you with your children. They would film you out and about. And maybe if you kept making the cut, you would film with a housewife. Or if you didn't know a housewife already, I knew Lawrence, so I would film with Lawrence. That was my entree, or what? Not entree.
No, he was your introduction into the.
He was my introduction.
Cast.
Yes, so Lawrence was my introduction to the cast, and so from there, in a scene, he might say, if it's going well, Phaedra's having a get together tomorrow. Do you want to come? Oh, well, I don't know who Phaedra is, in real life. So I'm like, well, sure. I don't know what to expect. I don't know these people, So that's how it worked, and the great thing about that casting process is that you had to earn your right to be a housewife of Atlanta. You had to earn it. It wasn't like, oh, this girl looks good. Oh, she looks good on paper. Let's make her a housewife. Girls are getting their contracts before they even meet us. And so then it blows up when they do meet us and they can't keep up. And they're not a good fit. We've seen it season after season.
I'm with you 1,000% when you're right. These girls need to be tested. They need to see if they're going to make it. They need to film them to see if they're even interesting enough to look at. That's why the seasons were highly rated until they just started bringing anybody out. Just like with Sanya, when she was trying to go off on Kenya in Jamaica and forgot her read. Absolutely not. And really, theoretically, Porsha and Kenya saved the season because the ladies walked off, band together, and decided they were not coming in because they felt like Kim was given preferential treatment because Kim was able to do whatever she wanted to do, i.e. not go on the trips with the girls, not stay at locations, not come to certain locations, and I don't blame them. Big ups to Kenya for knowing her worth, right? She was working for free as a housewife. They hadn't made her one. And she was like, if y'all don't make me a housewife, then you're not going to be able to use any of my tape. So they made her a housewife after that. And I'm sure that's how Porsha kind of got on too, because they kind of saved the show, as I said. She talked about her falling out with Phaedra. She confided in Phaedra about a lot of stuff, and Phaedra turned around and used all of it against her because she said Phaedra called her an alcoholic and said that she was dealing with mental health issues due to what she's gone through with her mother. Now, Phaedra was dead wrong for that. I mean, that was not right. So she said in season 5, it was a really hard season for her. She was seeing a therapist, and a certain situation happened that was at the Bailey agency when she was helping Cynthia audition girls. And it seemed like she was putting down one of the young black models. And Kenya said she would never do anything like that. She sees herself in these girls. She mentors girls. And she said behind that, she went home. She didn't answer the phone for a week. A producer had come over there to sit with her. And she said she almost left the show behind that. I was glad to hear her say that she and Porsha made good television because whatever was going on, it was good. And I was glad to hear her give Nene her flowers. But it was funny when he said, do you agree that Nene built the house? She said she built the house, but it was foreclosed on. It's still foreclosed. So now they're talking about the seating. Carlos says his stomach turns over when you don't see Kenya sitting next to Andy Cohen. And Kenya's like they would never move Nene's seat, even though for 3 seasons she didn't have a story. And Kandi can sit on the end because her paycheck is not going to change. But why does Kenya feel like she needs to be next to Andy? Because she wants to say Nene didn't show a man. Girl, you did not either. Even, like, what did you do? Let's just talk about this season. Kenya pretended like she was going to Alabama State to do something. Then she did a green screen with a leotard on. Then she had some man to bring her food that she was showing pictures of all season. Then she screamed and yelled at the girls at the door. That's all Kenya has done. So the first seat is about who is the star of the season and who's the face of the show. Kenya Moore is the star of the show. And I'm asking a question. Because to me, she is not. I don't think there are any stars right now. I don't. Now, in season 6, Kenya sat next to Andy at the reunion. But Kenya about to fool around and not have no seats with these questions that Carlos is asking her. Asking her, do you think it's a message to her? And she said every season that she's not there is a message to her. Kenya, you better be careful how you answer these questions. You'll be sitting at the house. So Kenya is talking about she feels devalued on the show. Where's her spinoff? I don't want to see a Kenya Moore spinoff. Like she's thinking that she should have had one when she got ready to have the baby. I don't think Kenya's that interesting to hold anything like that. You know, unless you're going to put real products in the bottle. I don't know. But she definitely feels like she was punished for marrying Mark without being on the show. And you see how that ended. She should have just married him on the show. But I'm sure he had a say-so about that. So she talks about how they were upset with her at Bravo because all she's talked about is getting married and having a baby. So when she got married and she didn't show it on the show, they were upset with her. And she understands that. But then Carlos always says that the show is not what leads to divorce. The people are what leads to divorce. But Kenya is saying the show leads to divorce. And you see what happens when she brought Mark on. Now she's getting a divorce. You're getting a divorce because you choose the wrong men. Every man that you have chosen that we've seen has been wrong. It's sad that Kenya had a husband and she still did not have someone to have her back. She had a husband that was on the show for a hot second. And when it comes to the reunion, she's still sitting by herself. Because I don't think Mark was at a reunion. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. But I don't think he was there. And I'm not saying that Kenya doesn't need love because everyone needs love. But I think Kenya needs to just chill out. Her saying that she made the first move with Mark says a lot to me. Because if she is as beautiful as she is and he saw her, I would think he would ask around for her. You know what I'm saying? I just feel so bad for Kenya. But this interview put her in a really good light. You know, she's still not high on my list. But, you know, I can see how she could be a good person. Now, Mark is 100% wrong trying to take away Kenya's rights to have Brooklyn on the Real Housewives of Atlanta because now he wants to film a TV show because, mind you, he did not want to be filmed on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But now he wants a show, allegedly, and he wants Brooklyn on the show with him. Like, girl, God bless you because you picked one. Y'all let me know what you thought about part 1. I'll be back for part 2. It's your girl, Millie Chime. Bye, y'all.